Hey there, day 29, pulling out a Roaring Fork shelter. Let's see what we get into today. All right, so pushed out of the shelter around 7:30 this morning. As I sometimes do, I have a change of plans from what I discussed last night. I was going to pull up at a shelter about 15-ish miles in today, which would be about 2.8 miles from Hot Springs, North Carolina. But I've just made the decision to go ahead and push into Hot Springs. So as I alluded to, the ascents yesterday that we did over that mileage was over 5,000 foot. And today's total ascent into Hot Springs is just under 3,000. So should be an easier day. Got a bit of an early start, not super early, but early enough. So we know we got a couple of good climbs today, but there's quite a bit of level and some down as well. So it should be a pretty decent day to hike. And looking forward to getting into Hot Springs. And I hear it's a favorite among many hikers. The Appalachian Trail literally goes right through town. On the sidewalk and everything, you can find the white blazes of the AT. So looking forward to getting there and checking it out. I've heard they got some nice small town cafes and diners. So interested in checking out the outfitter. So that's the plan for today. We're going to push into Hot Springs. So come along, let's see what we get into. Okay, so I made it up to Bluff Mountain, which I don't know if these rocks are what makes it a bluff or not, but anyway, this is called Bluff Mountain. It's about 4,700 feet of elevation, and from here on into Hot Springs, it's almost all downhill. There's like one little climb, but it looks like everything else is downhill, so I'm pretty stoked that definitely had some climbs this morning to get up here. But yeah, super happy to report that everything else from here on into Hot Springs should be downhill. And I've got about 11 miles remaining, but on flat and slight downhill ground, I really pick up my pace. I got a decent stride. So I should be able to eat those 11 miles up fairly quickly. It's about 10:30 right now. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Just saw some more pretty cool rocks over here I thought I'd come look at. Yeah, this is on top of Bluff Mountain. A little bit hazy out there, but if it weren't, certainly have a pretty decent view through some of those trees. But anyway, I think since it's almost all downhill, I'm just going to keep grinding. I should be able to get to town, I don't know, early afternoon for sure. So I'm going to shut up and start grinding downhill. So thanks for sticking around. All right, so I just came across a little trail magic at that last little gap. I had a Coke, a bag of Cheetos, and a little Ziploc baggie of fresh strawberries. So that was very nice. I really love people to come out for no specific reason and just want to support the hiking community. I think it's great. Got about 6 miles left into Hot Springs. Been a bit of a long day, probably because of the 16-ish I got in yesterday, and now another 17 and a half, but it's just now about 12:30, so it's still real early. I got plenty of time. Not a time issue at all, but just the legs are feeling it just a little bit. So anyway, beautiful day for hiking. Right about where I like it. Temps probably in the mid 40s to 50. Slight breeze. I like it when it's kind of cool like that. So anyway, I'm gonna keep hiking. All right, so my original plan was to stop here for the night at Deer Park Shelter. It is just out of sight, right at the top of that little trail. As I said, I'm going on into Hot Springs. It says 3.2 here. Far out says it's about 2.8 to the edge of town, so I'm gonna go with that. So anyway, I'm gonna keep on hiking. It is currently about 1:45. There's some additional tent space here. So on most of the Appalachian Trail, you don't have to stay in a shelter at all. They got these campsites, they call them, or you can almost just pitch a tent anywhere you can find a nice flat spot. So some of them are nice and flat like this, others are a little bit more challenging. But when you're in those national parks like Great Smoky Mountains and others, they have a lot more stringent rules you gotta live by. So anyway, I will keep on trudging into Hot Springs. All right, first decent look of Hot Springs, North Carolina down there in the bottom. I'm working my way down there, but this is a very steep descent, and my right knee's paying for it, so maybe that's to be expected on a 17-mile day. Anyway, just want to give a quick glimpse. I'll be rolling in there, I don't know, probably the next half hour or so. So I'm going to continue on. Really nice how it sits down in the bottom of that little mountain range. All right, so like I said, you come right out of the woods and you come right into Hot Springs. So you can see the white blaze there on the post. There's another one. Oh, they're across the road. Right over there. So we'll be heading that way here shortly. As soon as you get here, Laughing Heart Hostel is right there. And they got Laughing Heart Lodge just beyond there and a few other buildings. So anyway, that's the closest spot. But where I'm headed is further up into town. So I'm going to keep walking on these blazes and go from there. So even when you don't have the blazes, you have these pavers right here on the sidewalk. It's literally going just right up through town. About every 30 yards there's a paver like this. So another one right there. So there's the Smoky Mountain Diner, which I've heard some pretty good things about. So I'm sure I'll eat a meal or two in there while I'm here. But yeah, just walking up this road, I'm certainly glad it's flat as can be. Just love the mountains in the background though. You just don't see that back where I'm from. It's beautiful. There's a Dollar General for those that need resupplies. But these pavers, they just continue. Because you're actually on the Appalachian Trail right through here. All right, so I just had a little dinner with my last two family members at Spring Creek Tavern. Had some great appetizers and a wonderful Cajun Philly sandwich. That was good. So gonna close it off for tonight, and we'll reconnect tomorrow. Just kind of wore out. I'm gonna head back to the room, watch some March Madness, and go from there. So have a good night.